V's World says, had an interviewer ask, what are some characteristics you're looking for in us as a company? Any tips on good answers to give? Now, listen to me very clearly here. If you're the type of person that takes things very, very literally, you're going to have a hard time in job interviews, because this sounds like a legitimate question, doesn't it? So you naturally would want to give a legitimate answer to it. What are you wondering about this company? Let's ask them, right? I got news for you. That's not what's going on here, okay? Everything you do in a job interview, you're being judged for. They are forming their opinion of you based on what you say. Now, you could be brutally honest in a job interview. You could say, listen, your company's been in the news recently. There's been some scandals for mistreating employees. Quite frankly, I would like to know how you plan to mistreat your employees in the next year. Right? Maybe that's what you're honestly wondering. Do you say this in a job interview? No, you don't, because it's a performance. They're judging you based on what you say in the job interview, including when they prompt you for questions. What are you wondering? What do you want to know? Now, if you want to know something real like that, what kind of impression are you giving when you grill them and you say, like, listen, what would I like to know? Let's see. Well, if you were the CEO of this company, what major problems would you identify with it, and what would you change? You might want to genuinely know the answer to that question. I think anybody will want to know the answer to that question. But do you ask that in a job interview? No, because you're putting the interviewer, the recruiter or hiring manager, you're putting them on the spot. You're creating awkwardness. They're not getting a good vibe from you. They just met you. They don't know who you are. They don't know how wonderful you are. They met this person grilled them and put them on the spot where they were asked a very awkward question. They couldn't answer honestly because they're representing that company. They're not going to give you all the dirt on them. So here's where they're kind of baiting you, okay? V's World, this is where they're baiting you. You know, what are you looking for in a company? Now, if you say, in a company, I'm looking for this, and they're all things that this company doesn't have and can't provide, are you going to pass that interview? Probably not, right? They're going to conclude, we're a local company. You just said you're looking for a global multinational where there's a lot of opportunities for travel and promotion and all this, learning all kinds of different things. That's not us. So I'm sorry, you're not a good fit for this company if that's what you're looking for, right? So if you want this job, and I'm going on the opinion that it's always better that, like, if you're in the interview, try to pass the interview. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe it turns out that this opportunity is not looking as attractive as it once did, right? When you agreed to do this. But since you're here, see if you can get them to offer it to you. And then at least then you have options. You can decide to take it or maybe you don't want to reject it outright. You could say, well, listen, if you pay me $1 million, I'll take it. You have options, right? Rather than saying, you know what, screw you, I don't want this job, goodbye. What's the point of that? You've come this far. See if you can get them to offer it to you. And then at least you have some options, right? So when they ask you questions like this, it's a performance, okay? They're prompting you to ask them something real. You want to know things that are real. The problem is that if you ask the tough questions, it doesn't make for a good first impression. And that will a lot of times eliminate you if you grill them or create awkwardness. So if they're asking you, what are you looking for? You say something that describes them exactly. So when you did your research on the company, you found out these things about them. Those are the things you're starting to describe. That's what I would do. Let's say, hypothetically, you get this job. There'll be plenty of time to learn about that stuff after you've gotten the offer. You can answer your questions, but later. Now is not the time to try and grill them or get the dirt on them. This is part of your making of a first impression. So that's what I would say. So hopefully that makes sense. V's World.